Today on Gamers Couch.
Tiny. Epic. Western.
Sickbay to internet. Officers Daniel and Sarah report back from Spiel, having lots and lots of games and promos and germs and coughing and sneezing in their luggage. Hence, they do not look as pristine as on other episodes of this show, but you got to deal with it. I mean, Germinators, right?
You could say I met a lot of friends and brought them home as well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, we brought some friends home, don't get me wrong. I don't mind that. I meant the specific, the
ones that
the tiny epic friends that mess up your immune system and make your head go...
Yep. So if we have any jump cuts this episode, it's not only because battery maybe, but because of coughing, sneezing, having to use tons of tissues and stuff like that. So sorry about that.
If you carry a nose like I do, there's no tiny, there's only epic sneezes.
Yeah, they actually make me laugh, which then hurts my throat. So, not great. Anyway, you were wanting to say a few things about Spiel before we start talking about Tiny Epic Question. I'm gonna sip tea.
This year we didn't do a specific video talking about our experience at Essen, so bear with me as I hijack this for 3 to 50 minutes talking about what I saw and what I liked. No, it's not that much. So as you might expect, we've been there. We survived. Despite, to be honest, I thought this year was one of the worst years I can remember in regards to the traffic management, getting to the show. If you're arriving with a train, you might have noticed something like that as well, where just the train stopped or the buses stopped. We drove in with a car. It was terrible, really terrible, because for some reason security closed off one of the streets on Thursday, and I don't
First and biggest day on the show.
Yeah. Also, it didn't help that I would assume more people were there this year. It just felt a little bit more packed.
And I found out that for one, it was fall break in schools, so lots of families with kids had time to go to Spiel, which is not the case usually. So there was instead of 15,000 people on the floor, one day there was 30,000. It's double the amount of people, which is crazy.
Talking about crazy, if that sound drives you insane, let me help you.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I have to.
There's a tea can next to the mic.
I'm gonna put it under the table because I might not realize throughout the video. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. It was not a rocket taken off, and it was not my behind leaking air. So
this year, let me start right off with the sad news. Ice cream guy, you're gone. Why? Usually there was some ice cream booth that had a really nice variety of stuff. They just gets put on some soft ice cream and you'd be happy for the entire day. Maybe some days twice happy. But this year he was gone. Nobody's seen him. So that was unfortunate. On the positive note, there were a lot of games, and I was surprised actually that on Saturday and Sunday I got to sit down and have a couple of demos. Most of the other days was just running around and carrying bags of games you may or may not hear about in the coming, let's say, 30 weeks. Something.
Well, if you're curious which games they were, just watch the Talk O'Clock episode unboxing board games from yesterday. All the games are there. And you can vote on what game you want to have super, super fast on the Gamers Couch. Yeah, we tried to make that happen.
Obviously, no real good idea about what would be. Well, I have a personal favorite, but I wouldn't say it's like the best game of the show because I just didn't have time to play as many games as I'd like to. Even of the stuff we picked up, it's more like, hey, people seem to like this, or hey, I heard good things about that, and not what you should do, the informed opinion of knowing what you're getting into. I think so. Tiny Epic Western actually arrived just before Essen because we backed the Kickstarter for that, and that kind of just fit into the schedule so that we can now talk about the game without having to frantically play through this something. I think the only game we played so far that from Essen was Terraforming Mars, which is pretty good.
But then
impression.
again, many board games of this season you cannot play in bed because you need a table and things, and if you're sick or have to work, not a lot of time. So we only had time to play Terraforming Mars so far.
Yeah. On the show itself, what did I get to play? I played Railroad Revolution, which I very much liked. So that is actually coming to our house that they sold out at the show, which is, I guess, a good sign, although they seem to have had more on stock. They just didn't bring us many copies to Essen. I played Bios Genesis and got the demo by Mr. Eklund himself, which was a delight in and of itself to have been taught by someone who totally geeks out about the science of the game, which was weirdly interesting. I'm surprised. We're getting that, so we might have it on here for a weekend. If I had to sum my experience up with that game, was like while playing or while getting the rules explained, I was taken back to a biology class in school, and I was like, oh yeah. And didn't they do this and that? And kind of that thought directly translated into the next game mechanic, which seemed to be present in the game. So, which is really nice because it's like, hey, I have knowledge. Which
school was worth for something. It was worth for board games later.
So that was a neat little game.
Sorry.
I think my. We played Masters of Orion, which also sold out, and I did not get a copy of that, I have to say it's a decent game. I don't see why that had to be a Masters of Orion game, but I mean, yeah, if you're really a big fan of Moo or Masters of Orion, then you might be really disappointed because it probably has not much to do with Masters of Orion at all. Maybe except for a couple of alien races that show up, but that's it. The demo, I have to say, I enjoyed most, and that is kind of now the game I was mostly impressed by is a game I already paid for because, again, Kickstarter. It's the new game published by Mindclash. And if you've seen our Tricarian review, you know we are really, really big fans of Tricarian. And their new published game, Anachrony, I got to play that. It's really good. It still makes my brain hurt going back in time remembering how it was. So it's a very, very involved worker placement game where you purchase new workers, but at first, I thought that was just a gimmick. So, as the name implies, it has something to do with time travel and paradoxes. The time travel element is that you can use resources now that you don't actually have. So, at the beginning of a turn, everybody's having in secret showing 0, 1, or 2 resources they want to gain, and you gain them immediately, no problem at all. But at some point in the future, you need to send that resource back to you to actually have it, which sometimes leads to weird things like, hey, I will now recruit this guy from the future to hire him to send him back. But now I have 2, so that leaves me 1 at this point, which is like kind of weird time loop thing.
Fuck.
what I found was the interesting part was that there's enough different score goals for everybody to go to. So the demo we did was with four guys. I lost horribly. Someone won with I think more than twice my points, showing you that I'm not good almost and every game on the first play. Except at home. No.
I was just about to say, did you cry halfway through the game?
No.
Saying, I'm never going to make it, and then you overtake everybody?
No, I didn't.
That's the secret. This is how you win. Yeah.
I see.
Everybody plays nice after you crying.
But I very much enjoyed it. It really squeezes your brain because of just the seemingly unlimited amount of possibilities it offers you. I can do pretty much anything right now because as long as I can send it to me in 3 turns, I'm fine. And that's actually a lot more than just a gimmick. That the more stuff you send back, you also get victory points for that. So it's actually encouraged to use that thing. But when you send stuff back, well, the universe isn't so kind and lets you know that you kind of messed up. So you will gather paradoxes, or you actually roll for them in the variant we played, and if you get too many of those, then you get, bad buildings, which are kind of worker action slots that you purchase, but these are worth negative victory points, so you want to get rid of them, and that kind of hampers you. A really incredible game. I cannot wait until February until that comes up. So again, this disclaimer, this is maybe buying into the hype because we kind of already bought the game, but I was like, after Chikarin, I was, they really seem to know what they're doing. They're putting out some really good stuff. And now with Anachrony, I'm going to probably love the game that comes up. I'm super pumped for it, and I already cannot wait for whatever they put out next. That seems to be... Mindclash is now really going strong into my favorite publisher so far with the games they put out, which isn't really difficult with a track record of 2 games that amazed me so far. But
both of them did.
Yeah, both really excellent stuff. Yeah. So enough talk about the Spiel, and let's talk about another Spiel. In this case, a tiny.
Epic.
No, that's a lie. So let me get this straight. I mean, our game rules thing here will be surprisingly short, simply because I just decided to play 1-2 rounds together with you and Sarah to give
I can participate.
To give you an idea how this game works, because otherwise we will be sitting here tomorrow and my voice isn't as good as it is. But let me put this out right away. Gamelin Games. You call your games always tiny, whatever. The only thing that's tiny is maybe the box. And only maybe.
That's why they put the word epic
whenever
in there.
you unfold the game, you have your entire table is covered in game, and then suddenly 2 hours later you find yourself that you played actually some full-blown game that doesn't need to come in this tiny epic proportion.
Exactly, husband. The word epic covers the gameplay. The word tiny covers the box, and the Western is the theme. So you just have to learn what the word epic means.
All I'm saying, I would have been fine with this being a big box kind of release with a couple of components being bigger. Anyway,
for the big fingers.
Let the German guy tell the American probably audience or European audience about the American guys of the past, the Western. And this is timely. Red Dead Redemption 2 has been announced, so get ready for, amping up your poker hand knowledge. You also need it in this game, incidentally. So, in Tiny Epic Western, you are playing a boss. There are different bosses available. In this case, let's put it this way. Boss. There are different bosses available. Each player gets one, and you have a posse of, starting with 2 guys. There's a 3rd guy that you may activate later on. And what you want to do is, get rich or die trying. Actually, there's no dying, so just get rich. Get richer than the others. So, I guess running around and doing the worker placement thing, what they did back in the West. So the game, as you, this is already set up for 2 players. Each player has their little base according to their colors. So I have this blue house, Sarah has this yellow house. The green and the red are currently turned to the other side. So there's less places on there to go, but that is just for players missing. So in this case, since we're playing a 2-player game and this goes up to 4, the 2 other spaces are still there, but flipped over. There are 2 neutral spaces here, which are the sheriff's office and the town hall, which are always present in the game and always opposite of each other. The town hall actually doesn't do that much. It's more for scorekeeping. It's interesting in the endgame scoring. I'll tell you something about that later. And the sheriff's office here has some utility function in any case. What you want to do in the game is send your guys around here to those little spots and claim them or use the action that's on there. Ultimately, what you really want to do is to purchase the buildings that are on sale here in the middle. Each of these buildings has a cost attached to that, and the 3 resources available are money, law, that's the star, and that is...
Force.
A force, yes. The shooting... gun thing.
May the horse be with you.
It's not the barrel, whatever. You know what it is. This thing here. So what you want to do is purchase these buildings. Once you do, they get added to your house. That's why we start with no houses added here. And all the other non-player houses start with a little house here already that can be used if you send someone here. So if I would buy this house, this goes under my porch, and now someone could go to my porch, even me, and activate that house by doing so. And new houses that I buy will override that, but you still keep the houses because, and here's the victory condition, as you can see there's a little number on each card, and that number, surprise, victory points in the West. Same as victory points in Europe in the Middle Ages.
Medieval.
Medieval.
Yeah. Or Mediterranean medieval.
I hear the tea can farting again, please.
Sorry.
Thank you. So, there's a little other thing still in here. You may also notice that there's these colorful icons on the buildings. These, show how many shares, which isn't, I think, the big outlaw thing, but whatever. It's the American way, so business. You have shares in one of 3 different industry branches. It could be railroad, it could be mining, and the third was, I think, transportation, or just maybe the wheel is just for colonization of new areas. Anyhow, at the end of the game, if you have the most of one specific icon, you get a bonus. And what that bonus is, well, it depends, because during the game, these 3 icons will be distributed across these 3 spaces here. And players have a hand in which one goes where, and obviously if you have the most that's on first, you get 3 points in a 2-player game, and so on. If you're playing with more than 2 players, most of these mats have another side. Well, actually, this one is the only one that's important. But as you can see here, if you have more than 2 players, actually first place and second place get different scores on this one. But let's stick with this. So, how does the game work on a round per round base? Well, I already did a bit of the setup. Part of the setup is putting all these poker cards around here and a card face down here. And each player gets 2 poker cards, which we will now look at, agonize, and say,
Go wash your hands. You shuffled dirty.
And then discard in secret one of these cards. So, each player now has 1 card in front of them. I still have the dealer token in front of me, so I'm starting my turn. On my card, there are 2 posse guys that are standing up. These are my 2 workers that I can use. The third worker has to be unlocked by a specific action, or some of my special abilities might do that. However, I'm playing the outlaw, so my special ability is related to dueling, to which we get in a second. So, since I'm the dealer, I start. And my choice would now be What do I want to do? Oh, forgot. By the way, we all start with one of each resource, so I want to get more resources so to be able to buy a building. Let's see. I want to go to... Why not go to my house? So if I go onto this space here, I now have a choice. I can either go to this side, which would immediately give me one of the force things, which I just adjusted on my template, which is what I'm going to do. Alternatively, I could also go to the other side, which doesn't give me something immediately right now, but after everybody has had their turn, there's a showdown happening for this entire building card. And if I'm standing here and I have the highest poker hand, which we'll get to in a moment, I would get this bonus. Also, if I have across the entire building the highest poker hand, I also get this bonus. So let's see. I just want this. I don't care, or I don't want to risk it to get two of them because maybe I'm not as confident in my poker hand.
Can you give me one of the bosses for the backside? I want to know which option was higher again.
If you don't use the boss, just flip it over and you'll have a handy reference sheet, which also explains briefly what your poker hand is, how it works, and what the icons are for.
I want to go dual U.
Okay, so what happens now is Sarah goes to the same spot as I did, or you have to decide in advance. Do you want to go for the long-term benefit or the immediate?
Short-term.
For the immediate? Okay. So she does not yet get that immediate benefit because now we have to duel. I get to keep my benefit anyway. This is just about if she can get to that space and occupy it. So what happens now is we'll take these little bullet dice, which are just six-sided dice, roll them, and I have a 3.
1.
The attacker has to have a higher roll than the defender. Ties, the defender wins. You may re-roll your die by spending a force resource, and you can do that as long as you want to, or until you obviously run out of
5
force stuff. Now, as I'm the defender, I cannot spend force, but I can spend law to reroll, which I'm doing. I only, unfortunately, have 1 law, so I now need to roll that doesn't quite work. I rolled a 4, so technically Sarah would win. I have another option now. I could reveal my poker card, and the value of my poker card would then be added directly to my roll. That would also mean that my card has to be higher than Sarah's. However, I can only do this once for the entire round, so if I get into another duel with one of my other workers, I'd be screwed. Well, not quite.
Scrooged.
But, yeah, I'll take it. So what happens now is, first of all, Sarah gets this wanted card, and if she has that card still at the end of our placement phase, this is actually quite nice because now you can place it on the top of the thing. She gets a bonus from that. Also, since I lost, my meeple is now put down.
Going to sleep.
And Sarah's is standing up. She gets her force thing. Now, what I might be shot down, but I'm still in the run for highest hand for this thing here. So just having someone on this mat here anyway, it keeps you in the run for this thing. If we were on this side of this, I think...
The one you wouldn't be able to because you're laying down for the long-term
I'm not sure.
effects.
I don't remember. Ooh, I sneezed so hard that the battery went off, but, well, that happens. That also gave me time to look that rule up, so let me give you the true answer here. So, if we would be standing on this side of the porch with the resolution phase bonus, only Sarah now is eligible to win that thing. She still needs to win the poker hand.
Like I said.
But I'm out of the race. However, I'm still in the race for the pot that's on here, so that will be interesting. So, after that duel has happened, I want to go somewhere else. I just realized that I need more
resources.
More stuff. Yes, I'm
Lots of them.
I haven't had actually a chance to look at the cards that are out here, so
Me neither.
that could have gone a little bit better. You know what? I'll take this. And every space here can be contested with a duel if you want to.
I'm not wearing my glasses. What does this card say?
It's rearrange the building cards. It's not important for
This
our
one,
moment
convert
right at the
any-
moment. Convert force to money +2.
This is all not helpful. But I'm gonna go here. I'm not gonna rearrange. I just want to be in for the pot.
You get 1 coin there as well.
See, I didn't see that. Because short-sighted.
Money.
Money.
Okay, so now we have placed all of our workers. What will happen now is we reveal our hands. So if you didn't already reveal your card at the duel, we do so now with this thing. So, which, interestingly, how will this turn out? We just go around clockwise and check what everybody gets. Since I'm here on this spot and I am alone, first of all, at the beginning of phase 3, which is this now, I get as many, 1 resource of my choosing for each of the tent icons that is, or tent suits that is in play, up to 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, so I now get 3 of my choosing, and I wanna have... let's take this, 2 of these and 1 of these. If it's just 1 X with a number, that means that you can decide which one you want to have. Some of these have, let me see if I can find one. I don't.
Maybe we get one later.
Yeah, some of these cards show you that you get 2 X's. That just means you get they have to be of the same kind. It's a little bit weird, but there it is. So if you go here, you may choose any resource to pick it up, but you have to then pick 2 of those. You cannot mix and match. Anyway, so now to see if I get the pot that is in here. I have 3, 4, 5, which, as to this handy poker guide, is called a straight. Now, since no other players here, I'm matching off against the this whatever opponent guy on the town hall, who has a 1. 1, 3, 5 is just high card, nothing to be afraid of. So I get now to either pick the star at the law and the force, or I'm actually going to use the 3rd thing here, which stands up my 3rd posse member. So in the next turn, I have now 3 action, 3 guys to move around. Let's go here. Now, since Sarah chose the immediate value, we don't compete, or she doesn't compete with this guy for this thing. But now we both compete for the bonus here. So let's see. I have 2, 3, 4, which is a straight.
I have a straight flush.
Unfortunately, Sarah has 1, 2, 3 in the same suit, which is called...
straight flush, highest.
I call cheater.
Poker player. You shuffled the cards. It's your fault.
So she now gets 2 law. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Force or law?
2
Law.
2 law.
There it was. You couldn't really do it when you were super stuffed.
Yeah, the Judge Dredd has to be present when it's about the law. So.
Oh.
Don't laugh if it's painful to you.
Yeah, well, it's painful if you're so funny.
We are not done yet. Sarah still has this thing to go. So in this case, it's 1, 1, 2 versus 1, 1, 2. So who's going to win? Well, as you can see here, the suits are also ranked from high to low, and we have a bull, a horseshoe, a tent, and the hat. And the hat is the most valuable tier, and that's what Sarah has. So she wins this thing as well. So she now gets 2 force. Now we are going to take a look at
And with my wanted card, it says I still have it.
Okay,
So
so
it
now
says
you get a
if you are wanted at the beginning of phase 3, gain a resource of your choice.
Okay.
Which I'm gonna do.
So after we've been through all of this, now we get to the round or the part 4 where we get to buy buildings. For that, let's see who gets first pick. For first pick, the player who has the highest combination with the town hall cards goes. So I have 1, 4, 5, which is high card. Sarah has 2 1s, which is a pair, still better than my high card 5. So Sarah gets to choose first. She may only purchase a building from the spots where she actually has people or her posse standing at. So now she gets to decide which of those she wants.
This one.
So now she pays 4 force, puts this one here, and now this place is available for stuff soon. Now, you only get to buy 1 building unless you have a guy standing here that allows you to buy another leftover card, which I still think we were conflicted about because it isn't quite clear if it lets you buy an additional card or if it is just the ability to buy from any place without having a guy there. We ended up playing with this is a second buy that you can make because the wording says in the buy phase everybody gets to buy 1 card, and then there's another step separate from that where it says you get to buy 1 leftover card. So I think we got that right. If you know better than us, please
leave it in the comments.
Please feel free to enhance our next playing experience by telling us rules about the game that we missed or got wrong. I still have to buy a thing. Unfortunately, I only have this now available. Fortunately, however, for me is that I put up some more resources, so now I can actually buy this card, and I now have to make a little bit of space to put this here. So now I also have
a porch.
A card on porch. Now, as the last step before we wrap everything up and start the next round, the one who also won this hand gets to decide which of the 3 shares to move forward.
Green.
Now, I have orange and pink,
purple,
whatever. I was looking for the word.
Colorblind.
No, I was looking.
No,
I was not remembering for
the word. Yeah.
The word.
I know.
The word.
In German, it's lila.
But there's lilacs also in English.
No, lilac is Flieder. That is another color.
You guys with your colors.
I'm sorry, I'm a color nerd.
Anyhow, since she has 1 green share and 1 orange share, it is beneficial for Sarah to move the green and the orange thing forward because, well, she has more than me, at least in green. So that's what she said she's doing. So the way this works is there may only be 1 share on each of these spaces. So if you end up, let's say, in a situation where you have 1 there, 2 there, you can only move one of these 2 forward to the first spot. The green one here is actually locked down. So that kind of would explain that thing. And after that, you essentially just grab all these cards, shuffle them, deal out new cards, and start a new round. And I think that should be enough. I promised you we'd be short this time. And I think and the dealer token goes to the next player, so someone else now shuffles and starts with placing his workers.
And you put out new buildings, new cards, new poker cards.
Yeah, you fill up the empty porches. Let me do that just for sake. Porches that have these usable things here just get moved down for purchase, and a new one gets added up here. And those are these. Just to illustrate how that works later on, if you buy a building and already have something on your porch, you just put your guy over him so that you still see the icons on top of here, which you can actually probably see on the other camera. So you can keep track of how many shares everybody has, how many of these
Victory points.
Victory points you have. The icon on the left is actually just a reminder in which phase the ability of the card is triggering. So this one goes in the buy phase. This one is an immediate thing that happens. This one happens in phase 3 when the entire resolution thing is going on. Just to give you a hint of how this works. There's only, I think, one thing that is worth mentioning to explain these utility fields or spaces we have here. These allow you to modify your hand card. So if you go onto this space, for example, the -1 space, this 4 would turn into a 3 of 10s. If I go to the +1, this would be a 5 of 10s. The same thing here happens for the suit, and again, it's on this card, the rotation order, how this works. Also, if I had a 5 and increased this by 1, this 5 would turn into a 1, so it rolls over, and again, same for the suits. Since you can only have one of your guys on one of these spaces here, that means that you cannot add 2 to a card or deduct 2 from a card if you want to, or change the suit 2 times. Also, as these hourglass icons indicate, this only counts for the resolution. Why is that important? Well, let's say I have a 1 and I -1 it into a 5, and I haven't revealed the card yet. And now Sarah comes for a duel, and if I reveal this card, this is unfortunately still a 1. It only becomes a 5 after everybody has placed their meeples, and we get then to decide which hands are here. Obviously, since now with this thing here, you can have duplicates. If you are in a tie, you start resolving on even removing these bonuses until you figure out who has the highest card. So if I come in with a 5 of 10s using this thing and someone else has an actual 5 of 10s, I would lose to him or her because my card is weaker because it's kind of it's a Frankenstein 5.
It's a fake.
Which could also be a Freedom and Freezer game.
Yeah.
Frankenstein 5.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Freezer, if you look,
I don't think you're not missing much.
No. So let's fill the teapot.
I didn't have a tea yet, so you may start talking about what you like and dislike.
First, I will.
Let's do this the British way, with tea in our hands on a nice Saturday morning, talking about board games.
Yeah.
State affairs kind of thing.
Oh, sorry.
The political way.
Keep calm. I got the British cup.
Yes. Okay. Well, that counts.
The British.
And I'm drinking still tea from a coffee cup. And this will be the most exciting 10 seconds on YouTube for you in your entire life. Us drinking tea. Please.
Yeah. Likes and dislikes. So, there's, of course, it's called Tiny Epic Western. But some of these player tokens here, yes, you just move them back and forth, but they're like really tiny. For me, with the tiny hands, that's fine. But if somebody has the really big ones, that's kind of difficult, maybe. And that there, my dears, is the only not too happy about that kind of point that I have with this game. This, like Daniel said in the beginning of the video, is one of the games that would definitely fit in a big box and maybe have expansions at one point or fit more players. I really like that, well, for one, how this, now we're confusing cameras, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, because I'm showing here and you're showing there. It's like,
I'm always thinking if you're talking to people.
No, I'm okay, showing this here.
Show them there. No.
So I like the setup of this. Now you can show back to this camera. I really like the shape of the board, so to say. It reminds me a tiny bit of Aquasphere, just the odd shape of the board.
Or the circular.
Yeah, the circular.
It's like a Western.
It's like the town square where you have the shoot-ups and you have the saloon and the bank, like in the Hollywood movies that we all know and some of us love. It's very, very cliche and lovely there. I do love the colors that they used for doing the artwork in this game. Also artwork, line work, excellent. Really like it. It's very contemporary art of a very old theme, and I do like these combinations. I really like it. And with the colors that they chose, the kind of desaturated, more of the dirty look, so very warm colors. Loved it there as well. It's just very nice. It's cute. The quality of the components is also very well done, at least to what I can see with the cards and stuff. I mean, yeah, there will be a tiny bit of wear and tear at one point, depending on how often you play this game. But then again, they're fresh out of the box. They look vintage already, with the backs being kind of yellowed already. And so they're made vintage looking. So if you have a bit of wear and tear, it just adds to the flavor there, and I don't mind if that ever happens.
I'd say if you really enjoy this game, you might at least want to sleeve the poker cards. And then have them, because they're shuffled so often, and at least at our table, people start doing the
poker thing, you know? But yeah.
You might try to get people stopping them doing that right away. Don't you dare do that one more time.
Oh, yeah, you can shackle them to the table. Or
high noon at the street. When
in front of the supermarket. Pew, pew. Yeah, whatever. I really like the idea of the cards in the center that you can buy with different kinds of resources that you have to puzzle or collect together. I really like that, and I don't know where my player board went. Oh, now you are the rancher. No, you're not. That's me. I wanted to talk about this one.
Yeah, me too.
We have the same thought, probably. But yeah, I really like that you have different kinds of resources that you have to collect and make sure, which building can I go to with the card that I have. Is it a strong card? Is it maybe a weak card? Do I dare and go for the resources nonetheless? Do I do the bluffing thing, so to say? Or am I playing it safe and maybe not advance as fast with the buildings and hope for better cards in the next turn? Really like that agony that you have. And I have to tell you, folks, it's really quiet at the table. Except for the duels, it's really quiet at the table. This is how it's supposed to go. It's like the eerie Western city. Oh gosh, he did it. With the straw ball rolling off the street, and there's like nothing's gonna happen, so that's the quiet game. And then there's the shootout with the bullets and like and everything. It's like a Tuhubaboo, which is another German word.
If you're, it isn't. But if you're not a Sarah, I would totally throw in a CD album from Ennio Morricone.
Yes,
and then
yes. Or we could just skip that one song.
No, you don't like any song of him because they all remind you of that one song.
No,
that isn't actually...
he did also do the score for the Terence Hill and Bud Spencer movies, and they are fine. But the ones from the And a Handful of Dollar,
Fistful of Dollars,
and Glorreiche Sieben. Did he do that?
No, I don't think.
No. The other one.
You're thinking of Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I don't actually. That's the German title is "Spiel mir das Lied vom Tod," which is
Play me the song of the death.
Yeah, which translates pretty much to what Sarah said, but I think it's once upon in Mexico or Once Upon Somewhere was the whatever.
Yeah. So the score from those two movies, don't play them, but the ones from the Terence Hill movies, that's fine.
I played the Red Dead Redemption 1 soundtrack and got complaints.
See, there was whistling in there. In the right score, or the right timing and right melody. Anyway, if you're not me, please play Western music when you play this. It just adds to the flavor, and it's probably a very lovely experience for you. But coming back to the likes, I was kind of surprised. We played Tiny Epic Kingdom before that, and that really wasn't my kind of a game. Didn't really do anything for me. And I kind of went into this game being skeptical. Because, well, it's the Tiny Epic, and I'm not really a poker player, and I'm not really fond of poker, but there's enough of other things in this game for me that pretty much balances out me not being fond of poker. And I was surprised that I liked it that much, and that I would actually think, this looks like the travel version, and you can have a really full-blown big board game done with exactly that, and you'd have a lovely game there. The only thing, and I think that was a promo card, was it? No? There's one character in here that I think is over...
Small interruption. If you're interested in the promo card, so this is the card Gamelin handed out at Essen, which is the Tycoon. I think they have this thing going on where if you find them at some whatever convention and convince them that you were one giving them money for this game, then you may pick up the card or just say hi and be nice.
Yeah. There's this card of the Rancher, where I think this character is the only one that, at least in my book, is overpowered. The special ability being, at the beginning of phase 2, you may pay 1 resource of your choice to gain your 3rd posse token for placement this round. So you can play only one resource of your choice, and you have a 3rd token there, which is crucial. It's really agonizing. We were having a lot of agonizing moments when we were thinking about, okay, am I going to take the 3rd token here, or am I going to take the resources? Because you really want to have a 3rd token
to give you a little bit more context. So having the 3 guys is really powerful. Well, I mean, it's like 50% more stuff you can do. The only 2 ways without this guy to get your 3rd posse token, as Sarah said, is either you win the pot at the sheriff office, and that is not taking the resources but taking the 3rd guy. The only other way to get the 3rd guy out is if you don't buy any building, and then you can stand him up. But again, that is all just for 1 turn, and he essentially gets pay 1 resource, get the guy, and it's
that was the one that really felt overpowered for me, and I'm not sure if maybe if you play the Rancher, you would like to house rule him with maybe paying 1 of each.
Or
resource or something.
Make it
or 2
make
resources.
It a little bit more expensive.
Like here, there's 2 resources that you have to give up to get the 3rd guy. So maybe,
and you have to win this thing. Also,
so maybe at least 2 resources you have to give up to get the 3rd one here on the Rancher. But these are my thoughts. How about yours?
I don't have much to add. I was pleasantly surprised. I really like the layout of the game on the table. A little bit nitpicky, but things that are annoying with games that are arranged this way is everybody's going with their head, trying to read what the cards are, and trying to figure that out, which is kind of annoying, especially since the cards tend to rotate out quickly because they're being bought. But I like how the poker hands are just a gameplay resolution mechanic and not kind of the real core of the game. They're obviously adding strategic thinking through how you want to do this, but you're not playing poker. You're still playing a worker placement game where you want to buy your little buildings that give you additional action spaces or some more stuff. And then finally the big race for who has how many shares in what, and then it becomes less about do I want to go there to get that bonus, but do I want to go there to be able to buy that card because this gives me so many shares of that thing that's probably going to be on the first space. Can I catch up to the guy in the lead? So there's a lot going on. So this is really more on the epic part. The tiny thing really just relates to the box. I would half-heartedly agree to the travel thing, because I don't see myself putting this on a table somewhere while traveling, or at a vacation thing, unless someone has a big table. However, if you want to bring something that's involved and just doesn't take much of space in your luggage, this is it. Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree on that part.
So shall we rate? Or do you have any other clever thoughts?
No, not much. I just a nice little addition. I actually like. I mean, if you don't like the Rancher as we do, there's plenty of guys to choose from. So they really, I think that's in every edition. Not that I hope that I'm not saying this, and then you find out, oh, this is only the Kickstarter edition, and the stupid Germans on the intertubes have said something that's not right. So this edition comes with a bunch of characters, and they all seem pretty good, except for that one. But they all emphasize on different aspects of the game, like
well, he's super good. He's like the superhero, but it's unfair to the others, and it's not a lot of fun to play when he's at the table as he is.
Okay, so
shall we rate 1, 2, 3? Yeah, one tiny little tilt. Yeah, okay, because of the character. And,
no, not only that.
And some of the very tiny things.
So I wouldn't. Again, this isn't probably in the game I would play like every week or something like that. It hasn't grabbed me like that, but I do very much enjoy it. And
yes,
it's kind of in the, if someone wants to play it, I wouldn't say no.
It would be maybe the
it's a little bit fiddly with the setup
instead of Rummy Cup or Backgammon, I would put this in the same category to play it then, which is like once or twice a year we play these kinds of games because I ask him to, because I like him. Anyway, let's hop into the last section, funny stories and experiences. And part of that section is also the teaser for Draw for Initiative. So get your brain thinking. But first, funny stories, experiences. We played it once with 4 people and once with just the 2 of us. And the 2 of us game, you killed me like right away because you played the Rancher, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I? What am I? Oh no!
I have to say, I went through these, and I wanted to try him on purpose to see if
we hadn't tried him before.
As evil as I imagined he would be, and
he is.
That was a very, very clear.
Yes, very clear. But I had a bit more luck with the duels at that point. Maybe, well, just a tiny bit more luck. Here's the thing, folks that are with us for a long time know that I do also suffer from Wheaton's disease when it's very important, like in those games. I mean, yeah, it's a bullet for God's sakes, and I cannot roll higher than a 1 so often. Happened in the first game quite a bit. I did spend lots and lots of resources to re-roll my dice, and it's just nope. I should maybe be just the dude in the saloon serving the whiskey or something. It's like, stay out of it, right? It's just like, what the heck? And people know that I'm bad with rolling dice, so either they could pity me or they could make fun of me. Or in this game, they could shoot me, and they shot me quite a bit, which was hilarious. But it's like, oh my god. I mean, for once, I want to have the ability to buy a building.
Well, you can still buy a building, and if it's not,
I couldn't because I had spent my resources to re-roll, and then I didn't have the resources anymore. Well, so I had way less buildings than all of you had.
That is a valid tactical thing to.
Yeah, but I wanted to have at least a 3 once. It's like, yeah. It was absurd, but I mean, yeah, a lot of fun, and I think we liked.
For obvious reasons, the 4-player version saw a lot more duels than us playing 2-player. So the duels aren't really essential. However, again, I think some of these characters then tend to be better with more players than others, because some of them gain bonuses based on how many guys are shot down, wounded, how many guys are, or if you're attacking, you're getting a bonus, but you may probably not attack that much if you're just playing against one other player, and spaces are
If you're not
abundant.
Daniel. You attacked last time a lot.
Yeah, sometimes, but because I wanted to.
But you had
get
a third posse. It was like, what am I going to do now? Well, I can treat you.
Also, I wanted to get to a specific space
Yes.
to buy the building that was there, or keep you from doing something there.
Yeah, but I too felt that with the more players, the more duels you have.
I'm sorry.
Totally fine. Okay.
Now let's continue on with guessing what I just coughed up. No, it's actually guessing what's on the next draw for initiative.
Yes, next Wednesday, 9 a.m. CET, there's going to be a new painting coming out, or two of them actually, because Tina and I paint simultaneously and we talk about it. This game, we played it recently.
Tiny Epic Western.
It's about science and poison,
Scythe.
nature,
Scythe.
and
Farming. Scythe.
fame.
Scythe.
We bought an expansion at Spiel. And that's all I can give you.
Does the game feel adjacent to a very funny, humorous British fantasy series of novels?
Yes.
Does the game ask you to use your electronic device to...
You can do it without the electronic, but it's way cooler with the electronic.
So, is it decent?
No. There's no cool British novel.
That's true.
At least I don't know any. If there is any, let me know.
That was a stretch. You have to excuse me. My being a little bit under the weather also dampens my creativity glands that usually ooze out some game idea, which I can prolong this entire ordeal. But I don't. Maybe you can mix me a potion that makes me get better if you find out what game we are talking about and which will be showing up Wednesday,
9 a.m. CET on this channel.
On the draw for initiative. Thank you all for checking in. I'm Daniel. This is Sarah. This is the table where we play the games. This is the couch from the title where we're not sitting right now. And great that you showed up. Great that you watched us. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, please leave them below. We also appreciate likes and subscriptions by the masses. And I think I got this corporate virus thing that does all this business plan thing going on. I can't even...
I don't have a pill for that.
I can't...
I'm not going to cure you.
I can't
you
even
do this
stop
so
myself.
well. It's fine.
Terrible. Please, shut down the show now.
Bye, folks. See you next Sunday.